Durbin, right?
Ruben.
And he's been here at Tornillo, which, if I can slowly pan, is here, where the children are held in this center. What did you say this center was?
The center.
What is this? What is the Tornillo?
This Tornillo, it's a prison complex.
It's a prison complex.
It's also a port of entry.
It's a port of entry. Okay.
So it's a prison for teens, and it's also a place where ICE prisoners are brought for processing in another sector of it. Yeah.
So, are you from El Paso?
No, I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn?
Uh-huh.
And how long have you been here?
It's getting pretty close to a month now.
Wow. So what do you do?
Well, if you turn your phone here, you see those signs that say "Free Them."
Free them.
I stand here with a sign that says "Free Them," and I talk to people who want to stop to talk to me, and I certainly talk to people who come and want to hold signs with me, and I watch what's going on here. It's kind of hard to figure out a lot of the things that are going on inside, but if I watch the traffic long enough, I can notice some patterns and figure out some of the things that are going on inside this prison, which is it's being run by the government indirectly, though, by an organization called the Baptist Child and Family Services. That's the subcontractor here, and they're running what amounts to a very, very fancy prison for teenagers. It costs $100 million a month.
Wait, $100 million here?
Yes,
just here.
$100 million a month right here, just in the child prison part of it, to basically take care of right now about 1,000 kids, but we've just learned will be very soon 1,800 kids.
Wow.
And these kids are kind of in limbo here while somebody tries to figure out whether they're going to let them join their families. Most of them have families here in the States.
So these teenagers, where are they from? Why are they here?
Well, a lot of them are from Central America, and they got here lots of different ways. They got here because somebody, caught them trying to cross the border. They got here because some of them came and asked for asylum. They had no adults with them. They got here from other detention centers. Each one has his own story, his or her own story, because there are girls in there too.
Wow, there's boys and the teenagers. The age is what?
13 to 17.
13 to 17.
As soon as somebody gets to be 18, something else happens to them. It's not really clear what happens, but they can't stay here anymore.
Okay. Well, so you've been here a month and you were in Brooklyn. How did you hear about this, and then what brought you here?
I started getting interested at the time of the family separation crisis that happened early summer. It was on the news, and I found myself yelling at my TV pretty often. And I decided instead of yelling, I would come down. So I went down to McAllen, where I did some protesting at the center that was the detention center where they were actually dividing up families. I did that, and at some point I'd also heard about the tent city, which had originally been set up to handle some of those separated children. They put up the tents back there. And I came out here and I spent a day kind of hanging around with a sign that looked a lot like those signs.
Bus code.
Yeah, that's an employee bus. They're going to wait there until somebody inside says they can come in and pick up people, and then they'll take them home. Yeah. So I came out to Tornillo. I spent the day here. I went to El Paso. I was at a demonstration like the one you were at this morning. And then I came down again for a conference in El Paso. And also an attempt to bring children down to visit their parents in Juarez, who were brought up for a visit so that they could spend some time together. In the course of the conference, I sat at a meeting where we were sitting around in a circle, and a woman named Hannah Bonner, who's very active in this, said something about how annoyed she is about people who come down and spend a day and think they've done something. And I had the creepy feeling she was talking about me.
Creepy feeling?
Yeah, it was a creepy feeling. So
she's talking about Joshua.
She was talking about me. So I thought, well, all right, I'll come down for more than a day. And So I've been here for a month, and I'll be here for a while longer for sure, to see if staying longer does something. It may not, but in the process, I'm learning more about what goes on here, and I'm spending a lot of time trying to get that information out there on a Facebook group page called Witness Tornillo.
Witness Tornillo.
Witness Tornillo.
So what does that word witness mean to you?
Well, it means watching. It means making sure that this doesn't disappear by virtue of basically not being watched.
So you're an eyewitness.
I am witnessing this, and I want to make sure that it's seen. I want to make sure that other people see it. I want to make sure that the world sees that it is seen. Because this place was built in the middle of a desert when barely anybody can find it, and it wasn't accidental. This place can drop out of people's memories really easily. Those kids that are in there can disappear from the face of the earth in those tents without anybody knowing about it. And somebody's got to make sure that with all the crazy stuff that goes on and all the distractions that are put in front of us and all the very real problems that are happening over in El Paso right now at the bridge and in the caravan that's coming north and in the awful policies that are being instituted for immigrants, that these kids don't get forgotten. So that's my job for a while. It's my job, and it's not just my job. It's the job of people who come and join me.
People are here today?
And people that are here today to make sure that this doesn't disappear from people's minds.
So these are people, are y'all from El Paso?
Yes. Sort of, kind of.
Sort of, kind of.
Yeah. I have a home also in rural New Mexico. I come here and homeschool my grandson.
Oh, hey.
So I go back and forth, and he goes back and forth.
I have been in El Paso for a majority of my life.
Okay.
And I realized that there's a lot of things I want to protect.
Things you want to protect?
Yes. There are things that I feel don't deserve to be removed or taken away. I believe these are one of these things that kids there should be free.
They should be free.
And should be with their families and not trapped in a camp or can't see anyone.
So to be with their families, free them to be with their families.
Right.
And that's easier than we're making it, right? Joshua, it seems like it should be easier to get them to their families.
It's very easy to get them to their families. Everybody in there, the vast majority of people in there knows their families. They get to call them twice a week for 10 minutes.
So they can call their families. We know where their families are.
Yes.
Why are we keeping them there for so much money?
Well, there are different levels to that answer. The technical reason is that the families have to be cleared to make sure that they're all right to take care of kids.
Okay.
What ICE does is it investigates each of those families, and it fingerprints them, and it does these investigations and basically scares the hell out of these families because they're worried about somebody undocumented coming to the surface and then getting deported, which has actually happened. They've done investigations of their sponsor families and deported the people that they found in the household.
So wait a minute. So every single person that's registered as living at that house.
Yes.
Like if there's 3 or 4 or 5, they all have to be fingerprinted.
Yes, that's right.
And so if one person had made their own decision to be here illegally, then it affects these children.
That's right.
They suffer for the actions of adults.
They suffer for the action of ICE.
Yeah.
That's the way I would look at it. Now, the other level of why are they here and why can't they be placed is best answered by saying that we have an administration that wants to make an ordeal.
So this is the government making an ordeal.
Making an ordeal for people here to deliver some kind of draconian message to others who might come.
Okay.
So these children are being used to, they're being used cruelly to deliver a message to desperate people.
So you've spoken very just passionately about these kids. Can I ask you the question, what do you feel for these kids?
They're my kids.
They're your kids.
Yeah, they're my kids. Nobody can look at a child and say, that's not my kid, if they look. I'm here to look. If I can't see their faces, and I can't because they won't let me, I can see their faces when they're carried in. I know what they look like. They're my kids. They're your kids. And we have to take care of them.
Well, thank you, Joshua. And thank you for being here. And I'm glad. So do you have family back in Brooklyn?
Sure. I got a wife who I really would like to see, and I've got a son who I really would like to see.
What's your wife's name?
Her name's Melissa. My son is Gregory. And like these kids here, they want to be with their families at Christmas. I just talked to somebody who had been in there inspecting yesterday, and he said that one of the things that all the kids said was, we want to be out of here. We want to be with our families at Christmas. Well, I want to be with my family at Christmas too. That's what I want. And I want them to be with their families at Christmas.
Thank you for helping explain this to me. I'm glad I came to meet y'all.
Thanks.